there's
So
a lot of
Jisoo
build.
Sushi in chat saying, now and thank you for the first time chat. Now I'm just thinking of the game Lesbian Vampire Simulator.
I haven't played that one.
Please? Is that a real thing that exists?
I assume so.
If I can just do a brief shout out.
Is it the Final Fantasy 13?
No, it's not. It's to a Melbourne streamer called Galazrani who has been playing Blood Rain 2, which is about a hot vampire girl who jumps on people and wraps her legs around them and like sucks blood to regain HP. And it's like, Galazrani just rules a lot. Like I ran into her from, she's been on a few GDQ things running Bayonetta games. And just basically that's her genre is just like,
The Bayonetta likes.
yeah, like gothy hot girl games. Galazrani rules. So if
That's
you like
awesome.
lesbian vampires, check out Blood Rain 2.
So I have a discussion topic.
Girls?
What is the correlation between, let's say, queer people and vampires and demons? Because there's a lot. Like, I'm not saying queer people are the devil. I'm saying we love, like, demons, like, and vampires and shit. We love goth shit. Why is
Here's
that?
my theory. And my theory is operating under the same theory that explains why trans people seem to love Fallout New Vegas in droves. And the answer is queer people just have good taste.
I've got a couple of explanations up my sleeve. No, it's a hard argument to refute, and I certainly won't be refuting. I'll be complimenting it. But I think the monstery type stuff probably comes out of like a background of like pulp novels and stuff. Is probably the first place where a lot of sexual kind of variation and stuff is in the West was first allowed to be kind of aired, and that required horror settings like, you know, lesbian vampires from Mars to be able to talk about lesbians. You have to like wrap it in several like layers of like,
you got it, babe.
this is a monstrosity kind of thing. But also I think like particularly for trans people and stuff, like ideas of being repulsed by society being repulsed by your existence. And like also just feelings of like dissociation from your own body and things like that, I think are really well dealt with in like horror media. And yeah,
I think it ties into the whole like how differences used to be treated as like sicknesses or like, he didn't choose this, he's possessed by a devil, so that's why he's the murderer, or he's
there's so much, right? Like
and then
I think
gets obscured by layers of fiction and retelling, and over time it evolves into a
I think you both hit the nail on the head there, and also trans people having good taste, that's also part of it.
yes.
Very important.
But like I forget the name of it, but there was definitely like you know, there was laws in place that prevented gay and queer characters from appearing on TV or in like mainstream media.
Hays Code.
the Hays Code. Fuck yeah.
And what you would find is these queer people try to find representation however they can in their work. So the only way they could get past the filter was to portray, you know, gays as evil. And that's how you end up with like campy Dracula and like stuff like that.
Scar from Lion King.
Queer-coded villain.
Yes, that's it. Yeah. And so, as it turns out, villains are really sexy. I like the villains. What are these feelings I'm having? And then it's like, oh no, am I gay for Dracula? It's like that kind of thing. You know, it's little bits of progress how we can get them. But I feel like that's stuck around. And like you said, like the whole aesthetic of dealing with a society that rejects you and finds you repulsive can be very relatable to queer and trans folk. And fuck yeah. I mean, like, for me, I love the occult. Like, I just like find it so fascinating, and like you know,
we get a hail Satan in chat.
just any sort of like, you know, folklore, mythology. I dig all this shit. And look, what I really find whenever I see stories about demons and that kind of thing, I'm just like, isn't this just Isn't this just an oppressed people? Like, isn't this just like puritanical, like Christians forcing, you know, an idea that these people don't belong? And there's actually like historical basis for that, because like a lot of what is deemed by Christianity, or rather the Catholic Church, to be demons were once, you know, pagan gods, and so like being rejected as part of the Christian canon because there's only one true God, you end up with all these demons that are portrayed as evil. But if you look at the actual history, some of them were just like worshipped as genuine gods in their time. And so it's like, wow, ain't that like at least a little bit relatable? It's like, you know, in terms of persecution and, you know, these people that just narratives built around them that are evil, and there may not actually be any basis in that. That's relatable as heck as a queer person.
That's so
we've got Jisoo. Oh, sorry.
No, donation takes priority.
Oh, it's just a chat comment, but Jisoo Sushi says it's probably because we've been told enough that we're the devil or monsters or what have you that we decided, oh, too late now. If that's what we are, then it's also cool. Like,
we'll make it cool. Yeah.
I was just gonna say though, the story that I'm reading now, Pale by Wild Bow, is almost literally about that. You've got a council of magical creatures, goblins, ghouls, various spirits and whatnot, that are trying to save their town from the standard practitioner, which is the wizard sorceress that's trying to bind them and whatnot. And they just want to be left in peace, but the system's oppressing them. And any work by Wildboat is really good to look up if you like web serials. They're available free online, and I will fuck the hell out.
Nice drop. But yeah, I agree. Like, and you know, this is actually a really good segue, because you know what is a really common trope in JRPGs? God being the final boss.
Yes! Attack and dethrone God!
Yeah, and like, what do you know it? A lot of queer people like these sorts of JRPGs. Like, it's very interesting that, especially like when we're talking about like Final Fantasy or Shin Megami Tensei, like, queer people love this shit, where it's like, attack and dethrone God, like literally, like, that's, baby, we've been doing that our whole lives by existing. And yeah, and you know, I guess another part of it is like the sort of fashion sense of those RPGs are very like queer friendly. It's like very, very pretty boys and like, and girls with swords and shit and guns. Like, I don't even know if they were intending it or not, but it's so quickly become like a trope of the queer community to just love those sorts of RPGs, and it's so easy to see why they have that sort of appeal.